He is actively involved in the arts in Westchester County. He donated his art to many organizations, including the Ossining Historical Society, the Historical Museum, Joseph D. Caputo Cultural Park Museum, Ossining, New York, March of Dimes and Crime Victims Section, and an annual art exhibit held in the Legislative Office Building in Albany, New York. Mr. Papa is writing a book which will detail his plight towards freedom, which will present as a tool for others in transcending negative experiences. And I'm very happy to welcome Anthony.
I want to thank everyone for having me here tonight. Judge, you're a tough act to follow. I'm going to try my best. Chuck Calhoun actually introduced me to poetry in Sing Sing in 1986. And it's when I just got myself together and started painting. And basically, I used my brush to express the emotions I felt while being incarcerated. Prison is rarely understood by those outside of its inner circle. Prison is a very dehumanizing place. It's a very lonely world. As you can see, this art represents a lot of different emotions, individuals that are in prison. Currently, you have students that were in my class, very talented individuals. There's a lot of talent in prison. And like my art, my writing reflects the feelings that I had during my 12 years of incarceration. It captured different moments. My first piece is entitled Sometimes They Surface. Sometimes they surface, those images of awe, like waves in a hurricane that are part of my existence. They lived in the left-hand corner of my mind. Other times they sleep, waiting to be awoken by emotions that put shoes on their feet. My moods hang on whispers, like a pair of earrings that tell stories of my life, which run to the deepest part of my soul, sprinkling my roots with imagination, growing into monsters that haunt my memories with abstract visions of persecution that sometimes surface. Soft shoes on paper shells. Soft shoes on paper shells, the biography of vision that slants the bird's wings in the perfect shapes of things to come, past and present. Climb into my time machine and drift away beyond the heavens. Tie your collar tightly around your neck so the blood-filled pimples pop with rhythm, releasing the fury within. Soft shoes on paper shells. Life is long, too long for games that manipulate your senses. Spin the girl around the room and watch her dance while curling your tongue past the dominoes that sit on tables waiting to be plucked downtown towards your obligations. Soft shoes on paper shells. This poem was written at a time period in my life which was really rough. I just lost a series of appeals, and I kind of lost hope about regaining my freedom. The title of it is The Goods of Damage. My mind feels like a broken package, the kind you find on shelves, marked half price in discount grocery stores. The goods are damaged. Yes, my contents have been scattered, like a dried out leaf that has been pulverized by a forklift on its way to work. Each corner of my mind acts as if it doesn't know one another. Like those people I used to know before becoming a marked down, disenfranchised Kool-Aid drink, the kind that sparkles and tastes like piss, a reflection of myself. The goods are damaged. I'm not whole anymore. It's just not there. I feel wrapped up into nothingness because of the holes in my skin Each wound becomes a sanctuary for parts of my dreams. I pick and pull at its meaning, only to discover the goods are damaged. This next poem talks about an aspect of prison that basically you wouldn't understand unless you were there. And it talks about being hermetically sealed. Every time you try to get something in the package room from outside, if it's not hermetically sealed, you're not allowed to get it. Basically because the reason is security risk, because you could put contraband into the packages. And I saw this in relation to my whole life while I was in prison. And it's just entitled Hermetically Sealed. Hermetically sealed, hacksaw limbs of intimacy, sandwiched between statutes that choke the life out of canned tuna and human beings. Hermetically sealed, stacked against the silhouette of post-pubic periods of adolescence, the stigma of which brings confusion, anger, and bias. Thoughts that run rampant together to form the wrinkle in my life. Hermetically sealed, placed within the confines of a container which breeds contempt, outrage, and inhumanity. The ingredient of a slanted view of existence, formulated by genetic manipulation, overpowering cells that fertilize the deviance within us all. Hermetically sealed. This poem deals with my experience as a jailhouse attorney for 8 years while I was in prison. And I advocated for prisoners and worked in a library. And I saw a lot of people lose hope because most times you can't get out of prison in a way of winning appeals. It's very hard. And I saw how the poor were treated differently than somebody that had money to get a good lawyer. This piece is called Indigent Status. Percolating thoughts that shout out about the granules of right and wrong, that are filtered through the blind ears of judges, godly arbitrators who pin the donkey on your tail. You scream for freedom, shouting obscenities and cursing their souls. Your breath becomes encompassed with combustible particles that eat away your skin to expose the weakness that exists. The powerful strokes of your brazen heart pumps the tainted blood of existence to your cold, pale fingertips, which guide you in the language of the blind to heights not known before. The realization of being poor, the status that occupies your mind, cuts you down before your peers and signifies the Dick Tracy justice that prevails. Indigent status, the poor, the oppressed, labels of nothingness. This last poem is entitled Body Search, and several of my pieces talk about contraband searches. Contraband searches are very dehumanizing. It's a very dehumanizing experience. Basically, when you're in prison, they're looking for drugs, and you strip down and you have to bend over, drop your pants, and spread your cheeks. And this occurs on a routine basis for a lot of people in prison. And it's really dehumanizing. So I painted a series about it, the situation. And this is a poem which was done a little bit after an officer searched my body parts several times because he wasn't satisfied with the view he had. This is called Body Search. Pin my arms against my knees, the crack that lies within my creek. Control the spatula that turns those shells of broken dreams. Sunny side up, in the crevice of my universe. Bend over and open thy cheeks, the prison guard tells me. Show me the color of your dungeon. I'm the pimp who wears a badge, and you're the handcuffed hoe. Contraband search within your backyard. Oh, how lovely the scenic texture of the life you live. Spread those cheeks in a political fashion. It's time to re-educate. Thank you.